नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट. ओके नेक्स्ट 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 नेक्स्ट. इकडे कोणाला बोलायचं आहे? नेक्स्ट. येस नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट. ओके नेक्स्ट. ओके ग्रेट. नेक्स्ट. ऑलमोस्ट मला असं वाटतं तिथे 35 थिंग्स आहेत. बरेचसे आहेत, जास्त आहेत. नेक्स्ट. येस येस नेक्स्ट. आता इमेज डिस्प्ले करा सर, आपण परत चेक करू, व्हेरीफाय करू एक एक. आनंद सर, कॅन यू प्लीज शो दिस इमेज अगेन? आनंद सर. ओके, परत आपण आता लेफ्ट पासून बघू. फर्स्ट वरती काय आहे? मेडिको मध्ये काय म्हणायचं? हा येस येस, सर्जिकल काहीतरी नाव ऐकू आलं मला, सर्जिकल लाईट. ओके, नंतर त्याच्या शेजारी काय, ती चेअरला काय म्हणायचं? ओके, ते चेअरच्या पुढे अजून एक सिटी टाईप आहे ब्लॅक कलरचं, त्याला काय म्हणायचं? नर्सिंग स्टूल. करेक्ट, नर्सिंग स्टूल. नेक्स्ट, पुढे जाऊ आता. ती जी ट्रॉली आहे त्या ट्रॉलीला काय म्हणायचं? ओके येस, इन्स्ट्रुमेंट ट्रॉली. इन्स्ट्रुमेंट ट्रॉली. करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट, व्हेरी गुड. त्याच्यानंतर तो स्टँड आहे, त्या स्टँडला काय म्हणायचं? ग्रेट. आय व्ही स्टँडला मध्ये काहीतरी ब्लू दिसतंय, त्याला काय म्हणायचं? ओके, कुठे इन्फ्युजन पंप दिसतोय का? नाही नाही, डायरेक्टली मूवी के बाद मैडम को पूछ लो एक बार. गेस्ट को घेऊन ये गेस्टला. येस नेक्स्ट. नेक्स्ट लास्ट राहिलंय, थोडे राहिलेत आता. फेस मास्क नाही सांगितलं कोणी. फेस मास्क दिसत नाहीये का? आहे ना. सिरिंज आहेत ना, मग ते नाही सांगितलं कोणी. सीझर्स आहेत ना, सांगितलं. सॉरी. त्याच्यानंतर फोरसेप्स आहेत ना, ग्रेट. त्याच्यानंतर नीड होल्डर्स आहेत ना, सुपर. त्याच्यानंतर क्लॅम्प आहे का? हां, क्लॅम्प आहे का? ह्याला काय म्हणायचं? बोलो ना. व्हॉट इज दॅट? व्हॉट इज दॅट? थर्मामीटर नाही आहे का? आहे का थर्मामीटर? नाही आहे. असं कसं दिसत नाही आहे? ती इमेज थोडं फ्लक्च्युएट होत असेल. हां, थोडं ते हे. चलो ऑलमोस्ट. आता आपण असं म्हणू शकतो का की आपल्या रेशोमधनं आता आपल्याला सगळं माहिती झालं यात काय काय आहे. म्हणजे बिंग अ नर्स आता तुम्ही ऑल यू नो अँड यू कॅन जस्ट ऑब्झर्व की व्हॉट आर द थिंग्स आर रिक्वायर्ड. एनिथिंग इज लेफ्ट? एनिथिंग इज लेफ्ट? थोडा इन्स्ट्रुमेंट्स ट्रॉलीवर थोडा फोकस करा सर. म्हणजे you have to carry all these things all together when you are entering into the hospital. Okay, you should not forget all these things, what is what. Now you just focus on instrument trolley. Okay, guests are with us, so our fun activities, I guess it must be over. I welcome Advocate Siddhant Malegavkar sir, and I request Dr. Somya to take this session forward. Thank you one and all for giving me time again.
Thank you, ma'am. A very warm and pleasant good morning to all, respected faculty members, distinguished speakers, invited guests, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to day 2 of the workshop on bridging healthcare practice, nursing ethics, and legal accountability. This workshop brings together experts from the field of law, medicine, nursing, administration, and journalism to explore the legal and ethical dimensions of healthcare. We sincerely thank each one of you for being with us today. May I now request our respected dignitaries to kindly come forward and grace the dais. Now I would request all of you to give a standing ovation for National Anthem.
जनगणमनाधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा. विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना
घेऊनी संस्कार जपतो. भेद नाही माणसात एकतेचा श्वास हा, समतेच्या वाटेवरी कायमचा विश्वास हा. भेद नाही माणसात एकतेचा श्वास हा, समतेच्या वाटेवरी कायमचा विश्वास हा. बलबुद्धी सद्विचारासाठी शिक्षणाची साथ, घडवितो समाजाला उज्ज्वल नवा हात, उज्ज्वल नवा हात. जाधवर 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 शिक्षण संस्था, जाधवर 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 शिक्षण संस्था. विद्या ददाति विनयम्, विनयाद्याति पात्रताम्, पात्रत्वा धनमाप्नोति, धनाधर्मं तत्र सुखम्. श्रमाची ओळख यशाला खरी वाटही, कर्तृत्वाने मिळते भविष्याला साथही. श्रमाची ओळख यशाला खरी वाटही, कर्तृत्वाने मिळते भविष्याला साथही. माणुसकीचा आवाज विज्ञानाची साथ, घडवितो समाजाला उज्ज्वल नवा हात. भेद नाही माणसात एकतेचा श्वास हा, समतेच्या वाटेवरी कायमचा विश्वास हा. भेद नाही माणसात एकतेचा श्वास हा, समतेच्या वाटेवरी कायमचा विश्वास हा. बलबुद्धी सद्विचारासाठी शिक्षणाची साथ, घडवितो समाजाला उज्ज्वल नवा हात, उज्ज्वल नवा हात. जाधवर 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 शिक्षण संस्था, जाधवर 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 शिक्षण संस्था.
Thank you all. Please be seated. Now we would like to show a glimpse of our institution.
With the Board of Education for Strength, Intellect and Wisdom, Jadhavar Group of Institute has become fastest growing educational institute in Maharashtra, which is committed to give career oriented education and provide 100% placement assistance for a holistic development in all fields like academic, social, economical, political, industrial, art, sports, culture, science and research. The institute operates under the expert guidance of educationist, Principal Dr. Sudhakar Rao Jadhavar and Advocate Shardul Rao Sudhakar Rao Jadhavar. The institute offers a wide range of educational courses under one roof, right from pre-primary, primary, secondary school education, junior college, BA, BCom, MA, MCom, BBA, BBA CA, BCA, BCS, DSM, DMLD, DEd, BEd, BSc Plain, BSc in Data Science, BSc in Fashion Designing, BSc in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, BSc in Cyber Security and Digital Science, MSc in Computer Application, MSc in Computer Science, MSc Data Science, MSc Cyber Security, MBA, PGDM, BA LLB, LLB, ANM Nursing, GNM Nursing, and International School. These courses are taught at various campuses of the institute. Courses conducted externally by Yashwantrao Chauhan Maharashtra Open University and Savitribai Phule Pune University are also available in campus. With the changing times, the institute has introduced various courses of acting, dance, singing, photography, and skills development, while classes like yoga, meditation are taken on campus. The students of class 9th and 10th and junior college are guided for entrance exam like MHCET, JEE, and NEET for free of cost. The classes are conducted in the institute by expert professors who have studied from IIT, IIM, having great experience in same. Institute established in the year 2014. Jadhavar Group of Institutes today has more 80 plus schools and colleges, more than 25,000 students, and 1,500 teaching and non-teaching staff in order to maintain the educational standard of the institute. Oral and written exams are conducted while recruiting the teaching faculty. Pleasant and beautiful campus spaces and up-to-date classrooms. Digital boards in every classroom. The students from KG to PG are provided with learning facilities. Digital record of students' attendance. Highly educated and experienced faculty. Practical learning with theory. Guidance of experts from various fields helps in the overall development of the students. By adopting American technology along with Indian culture, students are equipped with quality education. Institute has introduced Yuva Sansad since 2016 with the motto of strengthening youth, strengthening politics, and strengthening India. Students from the state of Maharashtra and Goa participates in this youth parliament. The youth parliament has recognized by Union government and state government of Maharashtra and Goa. Many dignitaries such as Chief Minister and Minister of Maharashtra and other states have been honored in this parliament. Institute has introduced Shaurya Puraskar, Principal Dr. Sudhakar Rao Jadhavar Karandak, Jadhavar Science Festival, Give Up Alcohol and Drink Milk are some of the initiatives taken up on December 31st every year in Pune city with the help of Pune City Police. State level essay and allocation competition, Jadhavar Festival, Kirtan Motsav, Jadhavar Sport Festival, Adarsh Matha Puraskar, Bharat Ratna Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar online lecture series, Adarsh Shikshak Puraskar are carried out. The students are given financial assistance up to 10 lakh rupees for research and in the field of science under Jadhavar Science Festival. Under the Earn and Learn scheme, every year 100 plus students are given job opportunities in the institute itself. Children of armed force personnel, police personnel, journalists, firefighters, and ambulance drivers are given a 25% concession in educational fees from kindergarten to post-graduation, while a special scholarship is provided to girls for undergraduation and post-graduation education. Today, the status of educational institution is measured on the placement and pay packages received by the students. The institute has tie-ups with well-known companies for placements like Bajaj Alliance, HDFC Bank, Volkswagen, Force Motors, TCS, Yes Bank, Cognizant, Jio, VI, IBM, L&T Infotech, Phonomics Cable, Flipkart, Tata Capital, Tata AIG, Wipro, Sahyadri Hospital, Ruby Hall Clinic, where the students from the institute are placed. Every year, the organization intends to establish a university on an area of 1,000 acres soon. Jadhavar Group is also a leader in various business such as education, real estate, construction, hotels, hospitality, hospital, tax consultancy, and film production. The Jadhavar Institute is one of the fastest growing educational institute in Pune. We wish them all the best for their future and growth.
Now, we are pleased to present a glimpse of the Youth Parliament program organized at our institute. Let us witness the enthusiasm, leadership, and democratic spirit showcased by the institution.
To channelize youth power in the right direction and establish a foundation in social work and politics, the Jadhavar Group of Institutes initiated the Yuva Sansad with the motto of strengthening youth, strengthening politics, strengthening Bharat in 2016.
शार्दूल सुधाकरराव जाधवर यांनाही एक आदर्श शिक्षण संस्था चालक म्हणून आदर्श नियोजनकार म्हणून पुरस्कार देता येतो. पण तो अडचणीचा एक भाग आहे की पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरूच्या मार्गावर तुम्ही जाण्याचा प्रयत्न केला तर हा पुरस्कार तुम्ही स्वतःलाही देऊ शकता. कारण पंडित नेहरूंनी भारतरत्न हा स्वतःला पुरस्कार दिला. तर कधी कधी मला वाटतं की असाही एक आदर्श संस्थाचालक पुरस्कार हा तुम्ही कधीतरी तुम्हालाही स्वतःला देण्याचा काहीतरी केलं पाहिजे. इतकी उत्तम व्यवस्था तुम्ही इथं केली आणि त्यासाठी मात्र अभिनंदन.
If democracy in country is to be strengthened, educated, youth must enter politics. With this thought in mind, the Yuva Sansad is working towards bringing more than 1,000 youth into the mainstream of politics.
तरुण वर्गाला काहीतरी ॲस्पिरेशन्स आहेत. ॲस्पिरेशन्स असणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. जर पुढे काही आपल्याला करायचं असेल तर आपल्यामध्ये इच्छाशक्ती असली पाहिजे.
This initiative by the Jadhavar Group of Institutes is set to guide society in new direction. The primary goal is to create good leadership for society.
निवडणुकीपुरती राजकारण, पण निवडणूक संपली की समाजकारण करा हे सांगणारे शिवसेना प्रमुख नव्या पिढीला माहिती नाहीये. कारण आमची नवी पिढी तेव्हा संघर्षाच्या काळात जन्माला जरी आली नाही तर ती अभ्यास नाही करते मागचा. आणि म्हणून ती आत्ता समोर काय दिसतंय, प्रवाहपतीत होऊ नका बरं. कधी प्रवाहाच्या विरुद्ध पोहण्याचं धाडस असेल ना तर तो पुढे जाईल.
By bringing forward impactful leaders and inspiring faces in front of the youth, this platform aims to instill a sense of leadership in them.
हिंदुस्थानी हे एकच जात असणं हे अत्यंत गरजेचं आहे.
Rather than counting how many people are supporting you, understanding how many people you support is a concept deeply embedded in the minds of the youth through this Sansad.
जोपर्यंत तुमची फेस व्हॅल्यू तुम्ही समाजापुढे लिहून ठेवू शकत नाही तोपर्यंत समाज किंवा नागरिक तुमच्यापर्यंत आकृष्ट होऊ शकत नाही. अशी सध्याच्या राजकारणाची परिस्थिती आहे.
Youth from Maharashtra and Goa participate in this parliament, conducted in collaboration with Savitribai Phule Pune University, Lions Club International, Rotary Club, and Nehru Yuva Kendra. The Yuva Sansad has received significant support. Several dignitaries, including chief ministers, ministers, and prominent figures from various fields across Maharashtra and other states, have guided the youth on diverse topics during this initiative.
भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त राजकारण झालं पाहिजे आणि हे करण्यासाठी तुम्ही जिथं असाल तिथं तुम्ही देशसेवा हीच ईश्वर सेवा, मानवता सेवा हीच ईश्वर सेवा असं समजून आपण आपल्या राजकारणात ज्यांची ज्यांची इच्छा आहे त्यांनी यावं.
Additionally, individuals who have selflessly dedicated themselves to society, such as Sarpanch, Panchayat Samiti members, District Council members, MLAs, MPs, ministers, chief ministers, journalists, and administrative officers are honored with awards.
मध्यमवर्ग काय म्हणतं, नको बाबा राजकारण, आम्हाला राजकारण नको, याचं राजकारण घाण आहे. अरे घाण आहे तर साफ करायला उतरा गटारात, तर साफ होईल लक्षात घ्या.
In the Yuva Sansad, experts from the fields of education, social work, economics, industry, arts, sports, politics, science, culture, and research provide invaluable guidance to the youth.
कि मंजिल मिले ना मिले ये मुकद्दर की बात है, हम कोशिश भी ना करें ये गलत बात है.
Comprehensive discussions on various social and political issues are held, and related reports are sent to governors, chief ministers, and respective ministers of various states. Under the visionary leadership
सारं पैशावरच होतं काय असं नाही, काय गरज नाही पैशाची. फक्त डेडिकेशन, डेवोशन आणि डिटर्मिनेशन पाहिजे. त्याग करायची, कष्ट करण्याची कुवत पाहिजे. आणि मलाच पाहिजे म्हणायची गरज नाही. मलाच पाहिजे, मलाच चेअर पाहिजे बिलकुल नाही. जनतेनं म्हणलं पाहिजे की तुम्ही बसावर.
of the highly educated founding president, Principal Dr. Sudhakar Rao Jadhavar, and Vice President, Advocate Shardul Rao Sudhakar Rao Jadhavar.
40 वर्ष माणसांमध्ये काम केल्यामुळे डोळे माझे खूप शार्प आहेत, कानही माझे खूप शार्प आहेत. ते पटकन विश्लेषण करतात. त्याच वेळेला मला जाणवलं की खूप गट्स असणारा पोरगा आहे. आणि आज इथे शांतपणे सगळं त्याचं पाहता पाहता असं लक्षात आलं की हा खूप मोठा माणूस होऊ शकतो. असा ह्या युवा संसदेचा एका अर्थाने संयोजक आणि ह्या ट्रस्टचा उपाध्यक्ष शार्दूल जाधवर.
या भारत देशामधले 1000 खासदार, 4500 आमदार, या सगळ्या लोकांना मी त्या ठिकाणी विनंती करतो की अशा पद्धतीचे युवा संसदेसारखे कार्यक्रम आपल्या सगळ्यांच्या मतदारसंघामध्ये फार मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती त्या ठिकाणी होणं गरजेचं आहे.
This innovative initiative of the Yuva Sansad by the institution is expected to contribute significantly to strengthening the world's largest democracy in our country.
ठराविक महिला राजकारणात आणि समाजकारणात नको. तुम्ही जर आलात तर ही टीका करण्याची पद्धत 90% बंद होईल. हे ट्रोलिंग जे आहे ते 90% बंद होईल.
May the efforts of the Jadhavar group of institutes continue to achieve greater success.
Thank you. Now, we are going to start our today's session. Every patient deserves safe, ethical, and legally sound healthcare. Likewise, every healthcare professional deserves clarity regarding their legal responsibilities. This two-day workshop has been designed to bridge the gap between law and healthcare by discussing medical negligence, patient rights, professional ethics, informed consent, confidentiality, emerging healthcare challenges, and much more. Our today's chief guest for the present session is Advocate Siddhant Malegaonkar sir. It's my privilege and honor to introduce Advocate Siddhant Srikant Malegaonkar sir. Sir is a distinguished legal professional with an excellent academic background. He completed his BSL LLB from ILS Law College with first class and secured first position in LLM from criminal law, that is from Symbiosis Law School, and he has also earned an MBA in human relations. He is currently pursuing his PhD in criminal law. Sir is a practicing advocate before the Pune District and Sessions Court, Bombay High Court, and the Supreme Court of India. In addition to legal practice, Sir serves as a consultant for corporate and government organizations. Sir has been a regular resource person for prestigious institutions such as Yashada, MHADA, Chamber of Commerce, and various management and law institutes. Beyond the legal profession, Sir is an accomplished wildlife photographer whose work has been recognized by the National Geographic Channel. Besides, Sir is a director at Vitesa Techno Solutions Private Limited Pune and Sikawa Foods and Beverages Private Limited Pune. It's indeed a privilege to have such an accomplished legal professional with us today. Please join me in extending a warm and enthusiastic welcome to Advocate Siddhant Srikant Malegaonkar sir. Now I invite Dr. Sapna Sugurdev ma'am, Principal Jadhavar College of Law, and Mrs. Sheetal Nikal ma'am, Principal Jadhavar College of Nursing, to felicitate Advocate Malegaonkar sir. Now I request Sir to deliver the lecture on the topic legal liability of doctors, nurses, and hospitals. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for the wonderful words and making me sound as an erudite on the subject of law and business. when we had the national anthem and an introduction about the university, when we had the national anthem and the introduction of the university, I must say I'm stunned because Shardul is a very dear friend of mine. We were together in college, and from there we've grown, and seeing him grow into such a wonderful person, making youth stand strong, makes me feel proud. Simultaneously, there was another thing that we saw in the youth documentary that, or the youth video that was shown. In the youth documentary and the youth video that was shown, which said two things. One, determination along with certain type of caution. And today's topic is the very same thing. Your determination is seen very clearly as you all are sitting over here, participating in this wonderful program since the last 2 years. Simultaneously, what is needed when you enter the profession is caution. Let me tell you, being cautious is being strong. It does not mean that you are in a position where you are going to face certain difficulties. It literally means you are going to be a better person for tomorrow. So that is why today's lecture or this talk is an exchange of thoughts that I have had over a period of times and the cases that I have dealt with medical negligence or related to that. As you see the topic, which is very clear, it is just legal liabilities for doctors, nurses and hospitals. There are no liabilities. We create liabilities. Why? Because we are not cautious. आपण जर सांभाळून राहिलो तर हा दिवसच येणार नाही. We have to be careful to make sure that there are no liabilities that basically arise against us. I'll start with an example itself. Just yesterday, there is a very big hospital in Korego Park. They called me up. I represent them as the legal counsel as well as a legal strategist. And in that hospital, there is one patient who's admitted in the ICU. Now that patient is going through a divorce with his wife. So his sister came and admitted him in the ICU. It has been approximately 4-5 दिवस झाले तो ICU मध्ये. Last evening his wife came and said that there is no proper treatment that is given to him. I am his legal guardian because they are legally not separated. अजूनपर्यंत divorce झालेला नाहीये. So you have to take all the decisions consulting me itself. मला विचारल्याशिवाय काहीच तुम्ही डिसिजन घेऊ शकत नाही. Medically, I am not that sharp, but whatever I understand, whatever drugs have been given to that particular patient, there is a prior consent that is taken. By law, we call it as the voluntary non-fit injury. That means you have agreed that there has to be certain type of treatment that has to be put on you to save your life itself. The question came after there was an application that was received by the sister. ती बोलली की ह्याच्या बायकोला ह्याला भेटून द्यायचं नाही अँड द हॉस्पिटल इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल जर त्याला काय झालं तर. हियर देर आर टू सिच्युएशन्स. फर्स्ट सिच्युएशन इज लीगली इज द हॉस्पिटल बाउंड टू स्टॉप समवन. लीगली तर त्याची बायको आहे अजूनपर्यंत, डिवोर्स झालेला नाहीये. सायमल्टेनियसली देर इज अनदर सिच्युएशन. कुठले मेडिसिन्स द्यायचे हे डॉक्टर ठरवणार का बायको ठरवणार? When the hospital called me, they asked me for a written representation की बाबा याचं उत्तर काय द्यायचं. And the answer was very simple. There is no court restraining order that stops the wife. So as a hospital, we cannot stop the wife from meeting her, but we can stop her from taking unnecessary decisions की ह्याला कुठली औषधं द्यायची का कुठली नाही द्यायची. She will not be the person who will come and tell us. So there was a chance of caution. कुठेतरी विचार करून मग उत्तर देऊन फायनल कन्क्लुजनला आलो. दॅट सेव्स यू फ्रॉम युअर लायबिलिटीज. इन युअर प्रोफेशन, I mean our profession, because lawyers are understood to be in a noble profession as well. So in our profession, being a noble profession, over the time there have been a lot of discrepancies that have come. These discrepancies have led to this unnecessary drafting of laws. The law in this country is made for the downtrodden. म्हणजे जो नीडी असतो, ज्याला गरज असते, त्याच्यासाठी लॉ बनवलाय. एक्झाम्पल, एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉई. एम्प्लॉयर म्हणजे मालक. टाटा किती हजार करोड आहेत त्याच्याकडे, रिलायन्स किती हजार करोड आहेत. एम्प्लॉई गरीब माणूस तिकडे काम करणारा, 15-20 हजार रुपये पगार. लॉ कोणाच्या बाजूनी आहे? एम्प्लॉई. वी हॅव द लेबर लॉज ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द एम्प्लॉई, नॉट ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयर. लँडलॉर्ड, टेनंट. लँडलॉर्ड त्याच्या नावातच लॉर्ड आहे. टेनंट गरीब माणूस बिचारा भाड्यावर राहतो, 5-10 हजार रुपये भाडं. लॉ कोणाच्या बाजूनी आहे? टेनंट. हजबंड वाईफ असं म्हणायचे त्या काळी की बाबा वाईफ नुसतं घरचं काम करणार, तिला बाहेरचं माहिती नाही. दॅट वॉज द लॉ वॉज एनेक्टेड ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ हर. बट इन दिस इक्वेजन आपण एक गोष्ट विसरतो, दॅट इज देर आर नटोरियस एम्प्लॉईज. वात्रट एम्प्लॉईज असतात, वात्रट टेनंट असतात, आणि माझं नुकतंच लग्न झालं, वात्रट बायका पण असतात. बट द लॉ इज एनॅक्टेड फॉर द नीडी इन द सोसायटी. In our situation, in a noble profession, when we stand, we are giving our best effort to save someone's life. But if a person loses their life, then he becomes the needy. So the law is prescribed on behalf of him, and to make sure to safeguard ourselves from these notorious people, you have to be cautious. That is what today's talk and discussion is about. I am not a person who can give a lecture and who can tell you की असं लॉ म्हणतं आणि असं झालंय आणि तसं झालंय आणि हे केस लॉ आणि ते केस लॉ. I cannot do all these things. I can only share my experience with you. And with God's grace, maybe at a young age I have got the experience of dealing with so many cases that I have myself learned from those cases that whenever I give an advice, I think of all these scenarios. And I am just sharing my experience with you so that you all are aware of all these scenarios and you all are cautious. So there is no liability. Can you just help me with the next slide? Remote aside. Yes. So to start with, this is the basic framework that I had come up with, that you should all know whenever we are dealing with certain type of medical negligence cases. Now the first most important thing is, which as doctors, as nurses, or as hospital management, you all should understand, is that do we actually fall under the definition of negligence, and do we fall under the definition of service? ह्या दोन गोष्टी खूप इम्पॉर्टंट आहेत. नेग्लिजन्स इज ऑफ डिफरंट टाइप्स. ग्रॉस नेग्लिजन्स. ग्रॉस नेग्लिजन्स म्हणजे डॉक्टरची पण चूक आहे, नर्सची पण चूक आहे, हॉस्पिटलची पण चूक आहे, सगळ्यांची चूक आहे. दिस इज ग्रॉस नेग्लिजन्स. स्पेसिफिक नेग्लिजन्स, डॉक्टरनीच चुकीचं औषध दिलं ज्याच्यामुळे मी बरा झालो नाही. अँड पार्शल नेग्लिजन्स, वेर पार्शली अ पर्टिक्युलर थिंग इज डन ज्याच्यामुळे द डॅमेज इज कॉज्ड. So whenever we go to all these aspects, you all have to understand the most important thing is negligence comes with one particular word, that is called as service. Because what you all are offering to the management is service. What the doctor is offering to the management is service, and what the hospital is offering to the patient is service. If there is no service, there cannot be negligence. And if there is no negligence, then there cannot be gross, partial, any type of negligence that comes into action. When we use the word negligence, I will tell you one very simple aspect. What has happened in today's time, काही झालं, before people think, they put their hand in their pocket and get their phone out. We are all on social media on different platforms, whether it is LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, Instagram. In today's time, people don't think first. People put their hands in their pocket, get their mobile phones out. Because they want to record all the evidence that is important, and as lawyers what we need is only evidence. Because tomorrow that becomes a weapon to threat, that becomes a weapon to prosecute, and that becomes a weapon to acquit also. In all these situations you have to understand that you have to be cautious. That's the only aspect. But in a noble profession, if you do not stand out, it is no use. When I had started practice, I was with a senior. माझ्या सिनियरने मला सांगितलं, जा करा आर्ग्युमेंट, काय नाही होत. I said, sir, what if we lose? You lose the case. तुझं नाव नाही खराब होणार, माझं नाव खराब होईल, जा कर. That gave me the confidence. I stood up before the court, I argued, I understood that I need to refine a few things, and I became a prominent advocate over the past years. As professionals, you all should also have the determination and the encouragement to become the best. In these situations, you all will come in situations where you all have to take certain type of aggressive direct actions that may have consequences or may not have consequences. When it's related to me, once in the overconfidence I went, my client was behind the bars, आणि एक फॉर्म भरायचा असतो. वन्स बेल झाल्यानंतर एक फॉर्म भरायचा असतो. त्या फॉर्ममध्ये माझ्याकडनं एक चूक झाली. दॅट फॉर्म वॉज सेंट टू जेल. जेलवाले बोलले, नो, वी विल नॉट रिलीज हिम, दिस फॉर्म डज नॉट लुक ओरिजिनल टू अस. इट वॉज सेंट बॅक अँड 2 days लेटर ही वॉज रिलीज्ड. पण 2 दिवस इन जेल इज अ व्हेरी बिग थिंग. आय लर्न फ्रॉम दिस मिस्टेक. This is when I initially started practice. Now, when you're taking bold decisions, you have to have a calculated approach towards these things. Calculated approach is the most important thing. Because if you don't have a calculated approach, that will land you into all these troubles. Tomorrow as professionals, when you go in the market, आपल्याला हे माहिती पाहिजे की what the law says. My grandfather had told me one very basic thing. माझे आजोबा पण वकील होते. He told me, as a professional, you have to always remember that you should have logic and common sense. मग तू वकील असू दे, डॉक्टर असू दे, नर्स असू दे, मॅनेजमेंट मध्ये असू दे, ॲडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह मध्ये असू दे, मिनिस्ट्री मध्ये असू दे, का कुठेही असू दे, you should have common sense and logic that you have to apply. If you apply these two things, you would be in a much better place. The presentation first talks about the IPC, which is no more a law, no more an active law currently. We have the BNS that has come into action, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. But the sections are almost the same. Almost no, 100% same. We just given it a new name with a few other subsections that have come into action. We'll start from the last one first. That is MCI regulations. Whenever a particular person comes to you, you have to make sure that you yourself are complied. You are in a position of caution. You have to make sure that you have all your registration certificates, you have everything submitted, you have everything given to your doctor and the management. So there is no one who points a finger at you tomorrow. I'll tell you a very small story. There is one hospital that we represent. I don't want to take the name. Hadapsar side. Over there was this one particular doctor. That doctor passed the basic interview and he was taken on the panel. He was put into the emergency ward. In the emergency ward, there was a patient that came. He was complaining of chest pain. The doctor saw everything. I told you I'm not an expert at medicine, but whatever facts were told to me. He was complaining of chest pain. ECG was taken, rest of the things were taken, what that TRIPT, TROPT or whatever those tests are, everything was taken. After this was done, everything looked normal. But the doctor suggested, why don't you get admitted for a day or two so we can have a basic checkup of everything. The patient said, no, if everything is normal, I will go back home. That patient went back home. Within 6 hours, he suffered a very major heart attack and unfortunately he passed away. When that particular letter, because whenever he's put in the
casualty also, there is an admission letter that has to be given. And then there is an exit letter that has to be given. So when the letter was given, it said that there are no medical issues. And he suggested to go home. But the doctor himself didn't suggest. It was the patient who suggested himself. Patient नीच सांगितलं की मी ओके, मी बरा एकदम, मला काही नाही आलं, मी घरी चाललो. In this situation, if the doctor would have merely written one line that in our suggestion we tell you to get admitted, but as the patient insists, we are giving him discharge. That's it. Just one line would have saved him from a very big trouble. Unfortunately, when he passed away, the family members came in and they came up with an action saying ki they have not followed the rules. And simultaneously, because he passed away, section 304A, जो नवीन ह्याच्यामध्ये section 99 झालेला आहे, that is negligence causing death, was attacked on by the particular family members on the hospital management, doctors, nurses, everyone. Later it came to the knowledge that the doctor had to submit certain type of certificates to the management जे दिले नव्हते as per the regulatory rules. And then there was a question mark on the doctor if the doctor itself is fraud in nature. And there was a big fiasco that happened. The police came in, there were arrests that were initiated, people were hiding, anticipatory bail, हे ते सगळं चालू झालं. People forgot one thing. In our profession, the biggest problem is one mistake is understood to be as the biggest mistake. You don't get a second chance to rectify it. I'll give you another example. There was another hospital. तिकडे एक पेशंट ICU मध्ये होता आणि काहीतरी बॉडीचं टेम्परेचर रेग्युलेट करण्यासाठी त्याच्या पोटावरती देर वॉज अ हिटिंग बॅग, जी पाण्याची बॅग असते ती ठेवलेली. अँड देन देर वॉज अ शिफ्ट चेंज, ज्याच्यामुळे नर्सेस चेंज झाले, डॉक्टर्स चेंज झाले आणि दुसरे आले. पहिले नर्सेस पण विसरले सांगायला दुसऱ्याला, आणि तुमचे जे नोट्स असतात ज्याच्यामध्ये एव्हरीथिंग हॅज टू बी रिटन डाऊन, इट वॉज नॉट इवन रिटन डाऊन इन दॅट. Unfortunately, it was seen after many hours he was unconscious and his whole stomach was burnt. So you have to be cautious in making sure that the steps that you all take are always in the correct format. And for this you have to use a very simple formula. I don't think this is the right place to say it, but it's called as the KISS formula. KISS. That is, keep it simple, stupid. You have to make sure that rather getting agitated, excited in any situation, you have to make sure that you note all these things down. You have to make sure that your paperwork is correct. If you're low on staff, you have to make sure you inform your management. You have to make sure that all these things are noted correctly so there is no situation of caution that comes up. See, the law is a very funny aspect. माझ्याकडे एक केस होती ज्याच्यामध्ये there were two words that were used. There was a suicide case that I had ज्याच्यामध्ये apparently a girl committed suicide by jumping from the 8th floor or something. But while the police prepared the reports, त्यांनी त्याच्यामध्ये लिहिलं की हिने उडी मारली आणि विटनेसेसचे स्टेटमेंट घेतले. त्याच्यामध्ये विटनेस बोलले की ही पडली. देयर इज अ वास्ट डिफरन्स बिटवीन जम्पिंग अँड फॉलिंग. आय थिंक एव्हरीवन इज अवेअर. काल पण आपल्याकडे एक केस झाली आहे लोहगडला, लोणावळ्याची. वेदर ही वॉज पुश्ड or he fell down. On that one word, I got the whole case out. Saying that she fell down is what the witnesses are saying. That is prima facie evidence and not what the others are stating. But what played a very major role is the doctor's reports that were given. That showed certain type of electrolytes missing in a body, rest of the things missing in the body, which was later discovered by the post-mortem report, which helped lawyers like us to basically come out of unnecessary false cases. As doctors, it is your responsibility to make sure that everything that you write has a meaning. So please put your grey matter to that. 4 वेळा विचार करा लिहायच्या आधी. Whether it is the time, whether it is the date, whether it is the diagnosis, whether it is the medication, whether it is the process. I'll come to one interesting story. I was representing one murder case in which there were 9 bullets that were fired on a particular person and he fell down in the gutter. थोड्या वेळाने त्याचा मुलगा आला, बॉडी घेतली, they went to Noble Hospital. Noble Hospital, as they took him, the doctor declared him dead. Body pack केली, exit pass दिला. Body was released at approximately, shooting happened at 8:30 in the morning. Body was released from Noble at 12:30. Body was sent for post-mortem to Sassoon Hospital. Post-mortem was conducted. Everything was done. Apparently that accused who fired, जो आरोपी, तो माझा client होता. क्रॉस एक्झामिनेशन चालू झाली. When the son came into the witness box, जेव्हा मुलगा आला witness box मध्ये, I asked him a question. I said, when the bullets were fired and the body fell down, it fell down in the gutter. मग तिकडे चिखल असेल आणि रक्त असेल. He said yes. I said thank you. That's the only question I want to ask. My client was panicking. बाकीचे वकील एवढे प्रश्न विचारतात, तुम्ही एकच प्रश्न विचारला. Then the doctor from Noble Hospital came. And I asked him a question. I said, when the body came to you, the son got the body, त्याच्यावरती रक्त आणि चिखल होतं, कारण बॉडी तर गटारात पडली. He said yes. I said, and this is the gate pass that you gave him at 12:30. He said yes. I said, you followed the procedure. Yes. And you gave an exit pass. Yes. Again my client, BP shoot झालं त्याचं. 4च प्रश्न विचारले, ते बाकीचे वकील एवढे प्रश्न विचारतात. Then the doctor from Sassoon Hospital came. That time I changed my question. I said, body was taken to Noble Hospital and that doctor is saying that he has followed the procedure. The procedure is, whenever a body comes of this sort, first it has to be cleaned and only then it can be declared dead. You have the Modi's book of jurisprudence, medical jurisprudence. So I said, he's followed the procedure, he said. Sassoon's doctor said, yes. 3 प्रश्न माझ्याकडनं. 4था प्रश्न. Said, he's given a gate pass at this time, that is 12:30. Yes. And then you started post-mortem. 5वा प्रश्न. Yes. 6th question. Last question to him. You started post-mortem at 9:30 in the morning. If gate pass is given at 12:30, how can you start post-mortem at 9:30 in the morning? He said yes. And my last 7th question to him was, when the body came to you, it was clean and naked. He said yes. There, Noble Hospital doctor is saying, body वर चिखल आणि हे होता, I followed procedure, मी काहीच केलं नाही, body पाठवून दिली. Here Sassoon doctor is saying, no, there was a clean naked body before me. Criminal law works on one very basic agenda that is called as, it has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. If there is an iota of doubt, he has to be set free. In this situation there was doubt. 12:30 वाजता तू बॉडी सोडली तर 9:30 वाजता तू पोस्टमॉर्टम कुठल्या बॉडीचं केलं? आय केम अप विथ द डिफेन्स बिफोर द कोर्ट. तो माणूस जिवंत आहे, मेलेलाच नाहीये. ह्यांनी कुठल्या भलत्याच बॉडीचं पोस्टमॉर्टम केलंय. Why could I come up to this conclusion? It is because of the wrong noting of the doctor. Maybe the doctor from Sassoon or maybe the doctor from Noble. पण कोणीतरी चुकीचं नोटिंग केलेलं आहे. Because of which I came to this final solution. This is a type of a case, or this is a provision which helps you save yourself from unnecessary legal burdens also, because there was prosecution इनिशिएटेड बाय द कोर्ट अगेन्स्ट द ससून डॉक्टर, कारण तो गव्हर्नमेंट सर्वंट झाला की तुम्ही तुमचं काम नीट नाही केलं. What is most important is you have to be cautious. Any decision taken in haste is going to be regretted in repentance. We have to make sure that for all nonchalant action आपण जे घेतो, आपण प्रत्येक ऍक्शन जे घेतो ती शांतपणे विचार करून मगच घ्यायची असते. Specifically when the workload increases. I have so many examples which I cannot tell you. Whether it is negligence or no is a question mark. And there is a shift of blame जेव्हा नेग्लिजन्स होतो. मी तर केलं, यांनी केलं नाही. डॉक्टर म्हणतो माझी चूक नाही, नर्सची चूक आहे. नर्स म्हणतात माझं काय डॉक्टरची इन्स्ट्रक्शनवर चालू आहे. देर इज अ शिफ्ट ऑफ द एव्हिडन्स अँड द बॅलन्स, ज्याच्यामध्ये नेग्लिजन्स माझ्याकडनं नाही, नेग्लिजन्स तिकडनं झालेलं आहे. विल गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. One also very important thing which I shall tell you. After I've told you all these things, don't be scared to work as a professional. Because as a lawyer, I will tell you one more thing. The most difficult thing to prove is negligence. I'll simplify it for you. आपण म्हणू आपलं ॲडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह ऑफिस आहे, तिकडे एक माणूस आहे, त्याचं काम काय, तो ऑफिस बॉय आहे. त्याला सांगितलं जा रे ही प्रिंट घेऊन ये. वाईल गेटिंग द प्रिंट, ती प्रिंट थोडी वाकडी आली. आपण काय म्हणतो, ह्याला एक प्रिंट काढता येत नाही, वाकडी कशी आली. नाउ विल कम लीगली. आय एम सेइंग ही इज निग्लेक्टिंग हिज वर्क पर्पजली. हे किती अवघड आहे प्रूफ करणं. देर कॅन बी मेनी सर्कमस्टॅन्सेस दॅट कॅन कम. पेपर वाकडा गेला असेल, प्रिंटरचा टोनर वेगळा असेल, देर कॅन बी मेनी सर्कमस्टॅन्सेस. सो द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट थिंग टू प्रूव्ह इन दिस कंट्री इज नेग्लिजन्स. दॅट डज नॉट मीन यू ऑल बी केअरफ्री, यू ऑल जस्ट हॅव टू बी कॉशियस. बट द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट थिंग टू प्रूव्ह इज नेग्लिजन्स. द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट थिंग इज टू प्रूव्ह अबेटमेंट, प्रोत्साहन देणं कोणाला तरी. We had the Sushant, I forgot his, त्यांनी सुसाईड केली तो ऍक्टर, सुशांत सिंग or something, I don't know. त्याच्यामध्ये 306 लावलेला, दॅट मीन्स अबेटमेंट कमिट टू सुसाईड, की बाबा समवन प्रोवोक्ड हिम सो मच की त्यांनी सुसाईड केलं. हू कॅन प्रूव्ह दिस? ओनली इफ ही कम्स ही कॅन टेल यू दिस. Otherwise, no one can tell. So proving abatement, proving negligence is most difficult thing in this country. He is negligent is because there are reasons, but in that situation, law functions on only one thing, that is called as evidence. So if evidence speaks right, everything is right. I'll give you another small example. You can say I'm very unfortunate about the event that happened, but being an advocate, it is my duty to make sure that I'm bound to save my client. एक माझा डॉक्टर क्लायंट आहे. देर वॉज दिस पेशंट दॅट केम टू हिम. शी वॉज अ चाइल्ड. शी हॅड सर्टन टाइप ऑफ रॅश ऑन हर बॉडी. बीइंग अ डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट, ही गेव मेडिसिन्स. द पेरेंट्स ऑफ दॅट चाइल्ड आर ऑल्सो डॉक्टर्स. नाउ दिस मेडिसिन वॉज गिवन, स्पेसिफिकली मेन्शन्ड त्याच्यामध्ये, मेडिसिन हॅज टू बी टेकन फॉर 6 weeks. आता डॉक्टरची चूक कुठे झाली ते पण मी सांगतो आपल्याला. It was written, sorry, not 6 weeks, 6 days. Specifically mentioned on the prescription, it has to be taken for 6 days. 6 days ni ती रॅश काय पूर्ण गेली नाही. So the parents again came to the doctor. After they came to the doctor, डॉक्टरने त्याच्यावरती फक्त लिहिलं टू बी कंटिन्यूड अगेन, फुल स्टॉप. किती दिवसासाठी काय, काहीच लिहिलं नाही. The parents were also negligent in this whole situation. Unfortunately, that child took that medicine for more than 6 months. And one very horrifying thing happened, that unfortunately her skin basically started falling off and unfortunately she passed away. There was literally, it was a very bad situation when I saw the rest of the reports. The parents came up saying ki this is negligence on behalf of the doctor. Doctor ni सांगितलं आम्हाला 6 महिने गोळ्या घेण्यासाठी. डॉक्टर म्हणतो त्याची आई वडील पण डॉक्टर आहेत. एवढे दिवस कोणी सांगतं गोळ्या घेण्यासाठी? मी तर लिहून दिले स्पेसिफिकली 6 दिवस. Then there was a private complaint that was initiated against the parents की बाबा यांच्या विरुद्ध FIR दाखल करा. That is the time I appeared before the Honorable Bombay High Court. Justice Bobe was the presiding judge. And the parents showed the prescription saying that त्यावरती लिहिलेलं आहे 6 days आणि खाली लिहिलेलं to be continued. And my defense was की 6 days चं 6 days असतं to be continued, not for 6 months, leading to this unfortunate event. But what was the mistake that was done? की specific mentioning केलं नव्हतं तिकडे. If there was specific mentioning, this day wouldn't have come up. An unfortunate wouldn't have lost their life, and unfortunately this doctor also wouldn't have got caught. And when situations like this come, even if it bears the signature of the author, that is the doctor, there is always a blame game that is played की नाही बाबा त्या नर्सला मी सांगितलेलं लिहिण्यासाठी, तिने नंतर लिहून आणलं, मी नुसतं सही केली, किंवा मी लिहूनच दिलं नव्हतं, नर्सनीच माझी सही केली. This blame game starts at that time. It doesn't start before that. So there are 3 types of negligence when it comes specifically, if you go to see. When you look at the doctor's first thing, that is basic failure to diagnose. This has happened with all of us. पाऊस चालू झालाय, मला सर्दी खोकला झाला, मी गेलो डॉक्टरांकडे. डॉक्टर म्हणतो ही गोळी घे, 1 आठवड्याने ओके होशील. 1 आठवड्याने कळलं मच्छर चावलेला, डेंग्यू झालेला, प्लेटलेट कमी झाले, या गोळीने काय होणार नाही. Wrong diagnosis. This diagnosis also has another aspect which comes from the other side, which is where blood related aspect come, where the pathology aspect come into action. Blood नीट घेतलं नाही, मुद्दामून जास्त सुई टोचली, all these aspects come up. See, India is a very funny place. If there is something much more powerful in this country than truth, sometimes I feel, is gossip. If we all can start a gossip right away and it will grow like fire. So remembering all these things, you just have to be cautious when you are taking decisions. We come to the second aspect, that is incorrect treatment or wrong drug, an operation on wrong side. Now, I will also tell you another situation that basically took place. That was, there was one doctor. What he did was, there was a surgery of the knees that was done. Thereafter he was put in the recovery room and everything. So the ward boys came and had to pick him up from one place and put him to another place. While they picked him up, the ward boys lost balance because of the weight of the patient, and he fell on his legs again, where he was just operated, and both his knees opened. Then the question came, who authorized him to do so? Did the patient authorize him to do so? Did the doctor authorize him to do so? Did the nurse authorize him to do so? Who authorized him to do so? So the only aspect that you have to remember is of caution. If you are not cautious, it's going to land you in unnecessary trouble. Just as a guarding shield, as I told you, negligence is very difficult to be proved. There are different aspects of negligence that have to be proved. And let me tell you a very another funny story also, where doctors are helpful to lawyers also sometimes. I had one case in which one particular lady had jumped into the well and committed suicide apparently. Then then there was a case filed against the family, in-laws, everyone. When the matter came before the court, आई वडिलांनी ॲप्लिकेशन केलं की नाही सुसाईड नाही, हे मर्डर आहे. तिला उचलली आणि पाण्यात फेकली. Then when I was going through all your reports that was specified, that showed me 3 things. We have the column 17 that talks about the postmortem report, that spoke about the gases that were there in the stomach. That means there was enough food which was not digested yet. And the Supreme Court says, not me, that no prudent person commits suicide with a full stomach. म्हणजे मी खाणार पिणार जेवणार, आता माझा मूड झालाय सुसाईडचा, असं नाही होत. If a person is disturbed, it's disturbed. That reflects through different aspects. And later, I could show this that it was not suicide and an accident because of all the muck that was around it. कारण ती घसरून actually त्याच्यात पडली, विहिरीत पडली. But it happened at such an hour सकाळी की no one knew. And the doctor's report also suggested one more thing, that the body has been in water for such a long time की हाताला सुरकुत्या येतात पाण्यामध्ये. I don't know what it's called medically, but that specific word was mentioned in the particular post-mortem report. That basically showed that the incident narrated was taken at such a place that the family members were not involved anywhere. The family members were not home only that time when this particular thing happened. Simultaneously, the case of suicide also was ruled out. So your noting is very important because on your noting there are different circumstances that are involved. Apart from that is following the basic rules that are given to you all. You have to make sure that as per your prescribed rules and the guidelines, whatever, whenever you all are taking blood, the syringe has to be changed, each noting has to be mentioned, you have to follow doctor's instruction, because that ultimately leads to another aspect which is called as misconduct and not only negligence. The most important thing is that when we talk about negligence, I used another word along with it, that is service. What you all are offering and what the hospital is offering falls under the definition of a service where the consumer laws also come into action, and not only the IPC. आपण ह्याच्या आदल्या साईडला बघितलेलं consumer laws. Reason behind that is, I'll give you another example. एक आमचा client आहे, so there was some dental issue that he had, so he went to the doctor to fill it up. Later, after some time, while filling it up, there was a piece of metal that was left in his tooth over there. And when he came over, it was swollen up and सगळं सुजलेलं, and then there was pus and everything. Then he again went to the doctor and it was treated again. Now there are two types of action that he can take. That is, one is negligence causing hurt, or second type of an action is the consumer action. Reason behind that is what the doctor has given along with his team, that includes the nurses and the management, is a service. So whenever there is a matter of service, it will go to the consumer court. Whenever there is a negligence that is caused, maybe leading to death or maybe in a different situation, then the laws of the IPC or the BNS would come into action. And not following the instructions of your superior may also lead to certain type of misconducts, which is also dealt under the prescribed law. We'll go to the next slide. I'll share the slides with you. I'll skip the other two slides because I think we are on scarcity of time also. We'll go to the next slide. Excuse me. Azunik. Yes. Which we've already been talking about. One is the duty of care. A duty of care literally means that you have to be present on your duty as and when it is prescribed. You have to give your 100% without being scared but being cautious, as we are talking from the very beginning, leading to no liability to be arising out of this. And we also have to be ethipolic towards all the situations that come. Now, when we are talking about negligence, we also have to, we'll go to the next slide. Azun ek don slide. Now, when we are talking about negligence, I'll give a very recent example that was in the papers also. I'm representing the hospital in that situation. There was one particular patient who was admitted in casualty and he was suffering some serious accidental damage to him, and because of which he was suggested to get admitted immediately. And the nurse wrote a particular receipt saying that pehle he paise bhara and then you will get admitted. Only then you would be allowed to be admitted. And then the cashier said ki nahi, he sign chukichi and ती sign chukichi and he घेऊन and take घेऊन, and that much time that a person was not treated well, unfortunately he passed away. The question that came up was, whose mistake was it? Was it the cashier's mistake or was it the nurse's mistake that she did not fill the form correctly? And adjacent example that I can give you is, we are all aware of the Dinanath Mangeshkar case that happened, where one of the MLC's PA's wife was not admitted on time, because of which she and the child passed away. That MLC is my client, because of which I am working on a policy to make sure that guidelines are prepared correctly for doctors as well as for nurses as well as for the management. And the GR is very clear that no deposit has to be taken, no money has to be taken before treatment is given. First, as a rule, you have to first make sure that the right treatment is received to that particular person. In a situation of emergency, as a human I can understand की तुम्ही पहिले ड्यूटी करणार का पेपरवर्क करणार. But you also have to understand that we have no option, but the law says that the author and the person who's worked on it has to only note it. Otherwise, like the police people, I will also keep one writer जो फक्त dictate करीन मी आणि तो लिहित जाईल. That is not prescribed in the medical profession yet. So you have to remember all the procedural aspects that you all have done, so that you all are not caught in any position that leads to a danger position. Because as we spoke initially, we cannot forget there are notorious employees, there are notorious tenants. And I think I've called my wife 2 times notorious, which is not allowed again. So there are notorious people who will take undue advantage of the mistakes that may be caused, which may lead to negligence. So understanding all these aspects, we have to be very clear whenever we are mentioning things, whenever we are prescribing things, and on instructions. And as nurses, it is our duty to make sure that you tell the doctor that you have to sign it and not y'all, because y'all don't have the authority as per the medical profession is prescribed. It is only the doctor who has to finally affirm that particular document. Apart from that, are following rules that are laid down by the government. Whenever there is a situation where you have sonographies to be done, you have the Prenatal Diagnosis Act that has come into action. त्याच्यामध्ये क्लिअर कट गाईडलाईन्स दिलेत की कोणी विचारू शकत नाही, कोणी सांगू शकत नाही. I was seeing a very funny story on Crime Patrol. There was one particular nurse, she used to understand whether it's a boy or a girl, आणि ती नंतर त्यांना डेट लिहून द्यायची, आणि त्या डेटमध्ये फॉर एक्झाम्पल शी यूज टू राईट 16, but the 6 used to be a B, so that means boy, and if it is 19, that means 1 and 9, the 9 used to be a G, that is a girl. So you should not indulge in any type of these malpractices. There are so many examples that can be given towards medical negligence. There was one case that one of my clients, unfortunate event, he was a doctor, and when there was a pregnant lady who came before him, he could save the baby but the pregnant lady. 2 years later, in their family someone became a doctor, आणि मग ते काय डॉक्युमेंट बघितले, आम्ही जुने whatever procedural तुमचे जे ऑपरेशनल प्रोसिजरल नोट्स असतात, they saw that and said that certain type of action was not taken correctly, because of which there was a medical negligence case which was filed against the doctor. Unfortunately, the doctor lost his license, and we are still fighting it before the Honorable Supreme Court, that there was no negligence that was caused on behalf of us. So whatever you all are doing, it has to be merely on instructions. Without instructions, there should be no situation where you all come ahead and prescribe certain things, because as nurses, it's not our duty to diagnose, it's our duty to follow instructions. What drug has to be given? If there is a sleeping medicine that has to be given, doctor has prescribed 10 ml, जाऊ दे त्याला जास्त चांगली झोप लागेल म्हणून 20 ml नसतं करायचं. You have to follow what is prescribed by law itself. We'll go to the next slide. Yes, this is very important. One aspect that we've always been talking about is the criminal liability that is arising. In India, there are 2 types of liabilities. एक फौजदारी, एक दीवानी. Fauzdari is criminal, Diwani is civil. Under criminal law, you get only one thing in this country, that is punishment. For whatever section it is. It may be punishment with fine or whatever it is. But under civil law is the major damage that is caused, because that creates a financial pinch to your pocket. Under criminal law, it is only and only punishment, but under civil law, you can get a thing rectified, or you can ask for certain type of compensation. And in compensation, it may be unliquidated damages. That means sky may be the limit for the claim that may be prescribed. In 2-3 cases that we discussed, one of them, there was a claim that was raised by the front party stating ki baba, hai negligence hai, आम्हाला तुम्ही 10 crore रुपये द्या and we will withdraw our case. But who is going to get that much money, and whether or not it is actually negligence has to be tested under the eyes of law. But the test that is to be applied is a different test. Under criminal law, the test that to be applied, which we already spoke about, it should be beyond reasonable doubt. But that is not the situation when it comes to a civil liability, because under a civil liability, it is clearly a balance of probabilities. हे होऊ शकतं, हे झालं असेल, that is not under criminal law. But a breach is a breach. If a breach or a negligence is conducted, a person may have options for going under both ways, under criminal law also as well as under civil law. Under criminal law, it's clear you have the criminal courts that are specified. Under civil law, you have consumer courts, you have the civil courts where damages can be claimed. But as a professional, you have to be aware of the circumstances that may lead to unnecessary consequences. You have to make sure that you do not give rise to any type of the situation. Reason beyond that, you have to remember one word, that is caution. Unless and until you are cautious enough, it will lead you into problems. We'll go to the next slide, and I think we'll sum it up also. I think there are 1-2 slides more. Ma'am, I'll share this presentation so it will be easy, because I've already covered this. We'll go to the next slide. Yes, coming to the final conclusion, as a professional, I can only tell you one thing. Your profession is noble, so is mine. I hope you get a chance to exercise yours and not mine. I hope there is no situation of negligence that ever arises, giving my noble profession a chance to come into action. Yes, are there any questions? एक जुना डायलॉग आहे जे आमचे टीचर नेहमी कॉलेजमध्ये असताना सांगायचे, जर प्रश्न नसतील म्हणजे सगळ्यांना सगळं कळलंय किंवा कोणाला काहीच कळलं नाही. I hope it is the first situation and not the second. Yes, any questions? Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening and wonderful session. From his own experience, he has explained so many cases, how you have to be responsible and all. So thank you so much, sir, once again.